What's up? It's Movie Buff here. We're doing this special little, I guess you could call it After Thrones. We've got our throne shirt on.
His Khaleesi.
And her call. Got the broadswords out.
Okay, he has a sword.
We're not fucking around, guys, okay? So we're going to talk about the first episode, our thoughts on a couple of points, and through the next coming weeks, if you guys want to send us...
the end season, so we got 6 After Thrones episodes, because there's only 6 episodes. So, obviously, longer the episode, there's obviously going to be more points. So this
breakdown.
So, breaking it down, I'm talking about it. So this one's a little bit shorter, but we have a few key moments and points that we want to talk about because...
We're going to be taking questions from you guys that you send into our, whether Facebook or whatever, any kind of social media. We'll talk to you guys about it and, answer some questions. If you're
interested or whatever.
If you're down to clown. Okay, so let's get into it.
So the first point that we want to talk about is obviously the beginning, the arrival of Winterfell.
Right.
To Daenerys, the Unsullied, the Dothraki, Jon Snow, everybody coming.
And the dragons.
And obviously the dragons.
Which I thought the dragons seem to look better now. I think they spent more money on the CGI.
They did. I've read many articles about how they're making these episodes like mini movies.
Definitely the budgets for sure.
Oh, 100%.
We watched obviously the After Thrones or whatever, and it said when Arya, I guess it was episode 1, season 1. Same thing.
when Robert Baratheon and Cersei came to Winterfell for the first time to see Ned and Catelyn and everybody, they went back and they saw the little kid, kind of the same just of a little kid coming and seeing and being so excited to see the king and the queen
and the Robert Baratheon and Cersei.
It's Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen. So,
but there was I guess we could talk about the homecoming. Jon's homecoming of his siblings. It's pretty obvious Sansa does not like Dany.
He does not. She is not. She's super territorial, obviously. She's grown...
For good reason, though.
She's grown to be more inept and be more compassionate towards Jon over the seasons because he really has helped her. So I think that she's being defensive in a sense.
Watching out for him a little bit.
She's just not only watching out for her brother and obviously she's
watching out for the North.
For the North. She is the Lady of Winterfell. She's watched her dad, she's watched her mother rule their entire lives, and they always watched over the people and the well-being of the North, and she feels for the first time and responsible and feels that he isn't really he might care, and I know he cares, but he isn't doing what a northerner would do. He wouldn't ask a southern ruler to come, and
he wouldn't bend the knee to a southern ruler and give up his crown. Basically,
even though Ned Stark was friends with Robert, that's his king, but he is the king of the realm. In the sense, they're supposed to bend the knee to Cersei, which no one wants to do that. But
no one's going to do that.
No, but...
Okay, speaking of Cersei, we can touch on that. There wasn't a whole lot to be said for that, really. Just her and Euron got it on, basically.
Finally.
He basically said, hey, I've brought you justice. I brought you the Golden Army. I've got you the Iron Fleet, but I have nothing.
Well, that's another thing that is I totally just forgot about it, but they had a scene with Bronn, which he's not obviously a main character, but he is a big part of the show, and Cersei, obviously being a vindictive person that she is, she doesn't like traitors. So now, obviously, Tyrion's always been a traitor, has wanted to kill Tyrion for years, and now...
Hated Tyrion ever since he came out.
So now Jaime is a traitor because he left. And so now she's asking to give him money to take the bow that Tyrion killed his father with to kill Jaime. Not only Jaime, but Tyrion.
Both brothers.
So I'm like, oh my god.
And he doesn't say yes,
no,
but he doesn't say no.
And part of me thinks that like he could do it because he is all in this for money.
And see, I'm completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. I think there's no way. He likes Jaime and he loves Tyrion.
But I don't know if he likes them enough.
I think there's honor among thieves.
More than money. I don't know.
We'll see. But that was a little, I mean, obviously, after they had sex, Euron's like, he's like, I'm going to put a prince in this belly. Little to
well, and that's also that
she already has a
Theon.
Supposedly.
Theon, that's also another theme. Theon saved his sister.
Saved
Yara. And now we don't know if he's gonna go to Winterfell and fight for Jon and Sansa.
She basically gives him her blessing to do so.
Yeah, so that's cool.
She knows that's where his heart is.
Big key point, Jon riding a dragon.
For one, Jon should have realized
that dragons
only Targaryens can ride dragons.
Dragons are territorial, obviously only to their race, and obviously that he should realize, like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, and even before the reveal, when he was able to touch one, I was like, and mark my words right here. I believe that Tyrion is one too. I believe Tyrion's a Targaryen.
Well, that's a far fetched.
It is. But if you'll think about when he freed the collars and stuff.
Yes, okay, but that's besides the point.
Let's remember that I said that here, though,
he
first.
Gets to ride the dragon, and
which was epic.
And he kind of gets to get like a closer relationship with Daenerys, but you're sitting there being like, bro, that's
the whole time
aunt.
You're like, bro. Your aunt. You're fucking your aunt, bro.
You love your aunt. Like, I get, like, family love, but you love her, like, you want to make babies with her, like...
They're definitely falling more in love.
Oh, and you can see it in the first episode.
Like, and the chemistry is on point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on point with these two. Emilia Clarke and Kit Harington.
But,
really well
another one of my favorite characters. I know this is weird, but Samwell Tarly is one of my favorites. I love Daenerys, I love Jon, but Sam has been one of my favorites since season 1. He's just like a fat little teddy bear that you just
Sam's cool.
That you would just be like,
just a great guy.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my god, I love you. So one of my favorite characters since season 1, like. If anything happens to him, I'm gonna probably cry.
I think Sam's definitely dying.
No, shush. But she finds out he's in the library, and Daenerys and Jorah come in. Obviously, Jorah is alive because of Sam, and
the queen kind of wants to thank Sam
and basically like give him kind of like a reward because he didn't get the reward he was looking for when he was at the Citadel.
Yeah.
So, and that was also where he talked about bringing up they brought it up so well that Sam brought up that he was a Tarly, and then obviously it clicks to Daenerys, like,
she's like, wait.
Oh no, like...
Not Randall Tarly.
Not Randall Tarly, and he's like, yeah, that was my father, and comes,
She's gotta break the news, basically, my dragon's
fried
his ass,
and your brother. Has to break the news, like, first that she let her brother, not only his dad die, but his brother, and obviously you see the reaction to his sadness between his dad and his brother. Which kind of
surprised me because they were shitheels too.
Yeah, but to me, it's like that's his dad.
I get it.
And I literally almost teared up a little bit because I love Sam so much and I feel for him. And
I'm just kind of happy for him, to be honest. They didn't do anything to help him.
No, but I think he's a good guy, and I think that whatever.
No. Good riddance. They're shit actors.
So there's that. And then obviously the key major point of this episode
the entire
that we've
culmination
literally been waiting for since 2 years ago from the last season. The last thing we found out that Jon Snow is not a bastard. He is Aegon Targaryen. His dad was
fucking king of the Andals.
His dad was Rhaegar Targaryen and his mother was Lyanna Stark. And Sam is the perfect person
He's the only person.
He is the only person that could tell him. And
actually, even Bran, when he goes over to him and he says, you know, we have to tell Jon, and he's like, you know, you're his brother. He's like, I'm not his brother anymore.
Not anymore. You know,
Bran is three-eyed raven all the way.
Exactly.
He is no longer human in his own mind and other people's mind. I mean, he basically said when they first got there, they're having this heartwarming, and he's like, we don't have time for this. The Night King has your dragon, and he's marching on the north, and they're like, what?
So
no one knew about
exactly.
it. So
but
they kind of know, like, something's going on with Bran.
But, you know, Sam basically is like, you know, you are a king. Like, regardless if you want to be a king or not want to be a king, you have always been the heir to the Seven Realms, to the Iron Throne.
If you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Jon was a bastard from Winterfell that was sent off to the north to basically die out his days, and look what he made out of himself. Lord Commander, you know, then of the Night's Watch, then King of the North.
Yeah, but you remember in the first, I remember that you watched in the first couple episodes, it's the first or second episode of season 1, that Ned doesn't really want to take Jon to the north because he has, regardless of him being a bastard, like, he knows that this is his, like, blood. Like, this is his flesh and blood. It's his sister's child, and he loves him. You know, it might not seem like it at first, but you know, like, now that you're like, Ned did this not only because he loved his sister, he loved Jon. And that's...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He loved Jon, and that's the thing is once I feel like they find out that Jon is a Targaryen, they might have, the North might have, like, a little, like, no. But when they find out that he is the son of Lyanna Stark,
right,
like, they might have...
He has enough of the good Stark qualities, I think, that they're going to be...
So, but I don't know if they're going to review. They're obviously going to have to, but, you know...
How are they... You know, that's the question in the next episode, is how are they going to do it?
I think he's not going to... I don't think they're going to reveal it in such a public manner. I think they're going to reveal it to main key characters. Obviously, Daenerys is going to have to find out. But...
Which is going to be interesting.
So, Daenerys is one of the biggest. Obviously, Sansa. Like, there are going to be key characters that are going to have to find out. Or, you know, Jon being Jon might not tell anybody. Like... keep it to himself, like,
you know, I was kind of worried he was going to kill Sam. Just like,
at first I was like, oh my god, he's going to kill him.
Who have you told, you know, and then fucking, you know, to keep the secret because he loves Dany. I know, but I was a little bit worried.
But, you know, that's big main Pearson, you know. Now you see at the end of the episode, Jaime comes in, you don't know who it is, obviously he takes his hood off, he's, you know, got a beard, he grew a beard, obviously, He's been on the road for a long time.
For a bit.
So he finally is in Winterfell, and he turns around. He's excited and happy to be there. He actually feels kind of, I feel like, free. To be free of Cersei.
From Cersei, yeah.
Be free of, like, hate and anger and animosity and all that. And I think that he is finally, like, feels, like, free in his own, like, his own skin. But you see, the first person he sees when he turns around is Bran. And obviously, if you've watched it, he is the one that made Bran paralyzed.
Yeah.
But in a way, I feel like it was his destiny.
In a way, yeah. But it's why he is.
But, you know, Jaime doesn't know that, obviously. Obviously, he has built up, like, he's upset. I feel like down after now, he's like, I paralyzed this poor kid.
I'm a piece of shit.
Like,
wow, I was a
you
piece
know,
of shit.
But he's undertaken, and now he's here, and, you know.
Okay, that's enough. Until next time. What are we calling this? After Thrones?
After Thrones.
We will see you again after Thrones.